Ant, adult, pajamas. Why can't we agree how to pronounce common words? Part 2. Latin and Greek stresses and long vowels have also led to divisions, thanks to the history of the English language. If a vowel is long in the source language, the British have normally used the English long equivalent, which is so different from the Latin or Greek because our long vowels went through the great vowel shift in the late medieval era. For example, we used to say long A as ah, but it moved up to a. Long E went from A to E, and long I went from E to I. So words such as amen, which came from Hebrew by way of Latin, saw its long A change from amen to amen. But everyone in other countries, including in a lot of music, still used amen, so it didn't go away. It came to be the version typically used by the higher churches, while the more popular ones have gone with amen. But it's not a sharp divide. Likewise, the long E at the end of the Greek source of diabetes resulted in a final ease sound, but many people, especially in the US, have reduced it to is. But if, to try to stave off diabetes, you head to the produce department, how you say the name of it will be influenced by different precedents. The noun produce was originally stressed on the second syllable like the verb produce, and when the stress shifted, the O kept a short sound. But in the US, it gained a long sound to match all those other words that start with pro. Some people have gone another step and reduced the second vowel from the U sound to its short version, as in use. Ambiguous spelling is a common factor. Consider Caribbean. Even in the Caribbean, some people say the name with the stress on the first syllable, and some with the stress on the second. We do know that the version with the stress on the first syllable is the older one. The second syllable stress version likely gains traction from the double B in the spelling, but that pronunciation has been around long enough that it's established and accepted. Before you say that the older version has to be the only correct one, perhaps you should know that that position commits you to dropping the L in falcon and almond. In both cases it was added later but is accepted now. Oh, and schedule? In English, which got it from Old French, it used to be schedule, not sh or sk, but s, which is completely wrong now. A few centuries ago, it was respelled and repronounced on the basis of the Latin schedula, which the French got it from. And then there are some words that have gained common wrong pronunciations due to normal change processes over time, mainly speakers' tongues going with what is easier in their accent. The mayon in mayonnaise gets leveled out to man. The arct in Arctic gets simplified to art. And perhaps most famously, in nuclear, the tongue keeps the same overall movement pattern but shifts a consonant so there's a more even and easier to say alternation. Nuclear. All of these attract scorn now. But just remember this, if the words bright, thrill, and ask had their vowels and consonants in the same order as they were in Old English, we would now be saying them as bright, thrill, and yes, asks. Sometimes the wrong version sticks.